I'd like to welcome everyone and good evening. And we're in our second week of our Ongo practice period here on the mountain, and there's a small group of us here, and there's more to join in the coming days. We're going to have a 7-day session starting next week. And it's an honor, and I would like to welcome Wakayama Yamada-roshi to Sonoma Mountain Zen Center online with us tonight. And Kashin and Yamada-roshi made a connection in Japan through Aichi Senman Nisoto back in 2018. And I'm sorry that Kashin is not with us tonight due to her mother's passing and will return from Denmark this coming Monday. Wakayama Yamada-roshi is the abbess of Shogakuji in Tokyo. Both her teacher and Yamada-roshi visited Genjoji in 2019. She currently teaches at the International Department of Eiheiji. She is the first nun to teach at Eiheiji, the head monastery of Soto Zen founded by Eihei Dogen Zenji. She trained at Aichi Senman Nisoto, a training temple for female Soto Zen priests, where she also currently teaches. She was ordained in 1999 by the highly respected Shundo Aoyama-roshi. She was sent to Mount Equity Zen Center in the United States for 2.5 years and has also practiced in Germany, Switzerland, France, Spain, and Italy. After returning from Europe and finishing 2 more years at Nisoto, she studied at Kamazawa University, specializing in Chinese Zen history. Prior to becoming a Zen Buddhist nun, Yuko Yamada-roshi was also a Catholic nun in a convent for 3 years. So I'd like to welcome you and thank you for taking your time out of your busy schedule and being with us tonight or this morning in Japan. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank
Good
you.
evening. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So, offer incense?
You can't. Do you want to offer incense?
Yes. We don't do the chanting or.
Oh, we could do the verse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's up to you. Please
Okay.
tell me, how do we start?
Yeah, if you want to offer incense and then we do the verse, we could do the opening verse. Okay.
And 3 bows or not?
Yeah, 3. You could do 3 bows.
Okay. Do I ring the bell?
No.
You can do. I just offer incense.
Yeah, just offer incense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dharma incomparably profound and infinitely subtle is rarely met even in 100,000 million kalpas. Now we see it, hear it, receive and maintain it. May we completely realize the Tathagata's true meaning. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Nice to see you again. It's been a while. Thank you for inviting me again. I'm happy to be able to talk about Denkoroku again. I believe this is my 3rd lecture about Denkoroku. Denkoroku is Keizan Zenji's teisho, the Dharma talk at Daijoji Temple in 13,000. He talked about how the Dharma was transmitted from teacher to disciple. I want to share the PowerPoint. Can you see? Today's chapter is chapter 39, Tozan Ryokai, Donshan Lianjie. First, please look at this picture. Disciple is like a chick in an egg. Through practice, when he is ready to realize the truth, he pokes the eggshell from inside. At the very moment, the teacher pokes it from outside. Then eggshell will break. Dharma transmission is like this. From generation to generation, the Dharma has been transmitted. There are many drama, interesting story between teacher and disciple. So today I am going to talk about Tozan Ryokai, chapter 39. But before we go to Denkoroku, I'd like to talk something. As you know, this year is very special year for Keizan Zenji. It's a memorial year of 700s after he passed away. We are having many kinds of special ceremonies, activities, and events throughout this year. First, look at this picture. Sojiji created a radio program on Tokyo FM. Every month, a guest was invited and gave a talk about Zazen. I was also a part of the cast and gave talk on the radio. And look at this picture. We also planned a lantern festival. You may be familiar with this kind of festival. We write our wish on a piece of paper and put it on a lantern, and chant and pray for them, and fly them to the sky. We planned big festival, and about 1,000 people applied. And we have a big preparation for this festival. But on this day, it was very windy, very strong wind. So in fact, we couldn't make it because it's dangerous. So everyone was so disappointed. Then somebody said, oh, let's do it in the Dharma hall. You may know, but we have big Dharma hall in Sojiji. It has 1,000 tatami mats. So it's very vast. So we decided to put these lanterns on tatami mats in Dharma hall. Then when it became dark, we lit the candle in each lantern. And we prayed. It was very nice atmosphere, very mysterious atmosphere. And it was very nice. People were so pleased. Later, Sojiji did International Zen Challenge. I know you attended or not, but we connected many Zen centers all over the world. Then we sit together at the same time. So for example, if it's daytime in Japan, in America or Europe at night or sometimes midnight. But all people in Zen Center sit in same time. It was really nice experience. And also in Sojiji, about 700 people came to sit, real sitting at the time. So we prepare 700 zafus in the Dharma hall. It was a lot. Then people came and sit in one place. 700 people sit in one place. And it reminds me this lantern festival. Oh, the lantern changed into the people, Zazen people. And I realized the real Zazen is like a lantern. They illuminate this world. So I really moved by these activities. So I'm happy that I can talk about Keizan Zenji's Denkoroku in this memorable year of Keizan. So let's go to Denkoroku. It's chapter 39. Today, I'm going to talk about Tozan. Tozan is a 39th disciple from Bodhidharma. And you may know the sixth patriarch, Eno, Huenon. And the left side is Soto Zen lineage. Huenon's disciple is Seigen. Seigen's disciple is Sekito. Sekito's disciple is Yakusan. Yakusan's disciple is Ungan. And Ungan's disciple is Tozan. Today's chapter, Tozan Ryokai. So Tozan studied Zen under Ungan, but he also went to Isan here or Nansen. He learned from many teachers. And today's case, the theme of this chapter is came from Nanyo Echu, the Eno's direct disciple Echu. So you may hear these names today's talk. So these are the lineage and relationship for each other. In Denkoroku, in this chapter, Keizan Zenji introduced 2 episodes about Tozan Zenji. So I'd like to show you these 2 episodes. The first episode is about Hanya Shingyo. These are scripture of Denkoroku. I read. When still a child, Tozan was once following a teacher, reciting Hanya Shingyo, Heart Sutra, when he recited the passage that says, there is no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Tozan immediately felt his face with his hand and said to the teacher, I have eyes, ears, a nose, a tongue, and so on. Why does the scripture say that I do not? You may be familiar with Hanya Shingyo, the Heart Sutra. And this passage, there is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, etc. We listen to this passage many times, and maybe we wonder what this means. But how many people asked about this to your teachers? Even if we don't understand really, usually we just go through, pass by. But Tozan, when he was a child, he really caught this passage and wondered then asked her teacher directly. The teacher was very surprised. Oh, this child may become great Zen master. So the teacher introduced another teacher, higher ranked teacher, to him. This is a famous episode of Tozan. And this story is related to today's talk. So please just remember this story for now. And this is episode 2. It's about his mother. Tozan left his hometown, vowing that he would never return to his former home or see his relatives again until he had realized enlightenment. After he completed his monastic training, took up residence on Tozan, whence his name. Day after day, his mother searched for him until finally she was reduced to beggary. Learning that her son was living on Tozan, she went there and tried to see him. Tozan firmly refused to meet with her. As a result, his mother was filled with regret and died of grief outside his room. After her passing, Tozan found 3 cupfuls of rice, which she had baked. So he mixed into the monks' morning gruel, which he offered to them as a memorial for his mother. Later, she appeared to him in his dream and said, "Because you held firm to your intention and therefore wouldn't see me, my deluded feelings of covetous attachment have been instantly severed. And due to the strength of such good karmic roots, I have been reborn in the triastremic heaven." This is the episode 2. Very strong story, isn't it? Tozan was his mother's favorite. His elder brother was already dead. His younger brother was penniless. And his father had also passed away. So he was the only child who can take care of his mother. But Tozan had body-mind and tried to pursue the enlightenment and enter the practice. He abandoned his mother. When his mother visited Tozan, he locked himself in the room so she couldn't enter. He avoided a face-to-face meeting. Finally, his mother dead. Can you believe it? It's too strong. This story reminds me my mother. About 25 years ago, I was ordained and became a Buddhist nun. At that time, I was really moved by this kind of story. It's not only Tozan, but there are many ancestors, Zen monks, many Zen masters abandoned home, a family like this. At the time, I was younger, much younger, then really moved this kind of story. And I also left my home and entered practice. After that, I almost never go back home to follow these great teachers. But just few years ago, my father passed away. Then I held his funeral. Just after that, my mother got stroke. Fortunately, it was not very serious, so she was recovered. But it's very difficult to live alone anymore. I was struggled. What should I do? Should I abandon my mom, like Tozan, and concentrate on practice? Or should I take care of her, oppose the ancestors, to be sentimental? I read this kind of passage many times, but it was not real. It was just idea. Oh, it's really nice. But in my real life, it occurs. I was so struggled. What should I do? What do you think? If it's your situation, how do you react? Finally, I took my mother near the temple. I'm living with my master, so it's difficult to live with her. So I brought her near the temple and rent an apartment and took care, visit almost every day and took care of her. Now she's moved to assistant living near here. So somebody is taking care of her, but still I visit her time to time. And she does computer. So I invited our online Zazen. Since the pandemic occurred, we started online Zazen, online sitting every morning and evening. I sent a Zoom link to her and taught how to sit chair Zazen. She cannot sit on the floor, so chair is fine, I told her. Then I put an icon of Canon. After that, she attended online Zazen almost every day, every morning and every evening. One time, she had heart problem and entered the hospital about 10 days. And very first question to her doctor was, can I use Wi-Fi in this hospital? And she attended online Zazen every day from the hospital even. So now she is like my student. I took my parents, took my mother near here, but not someone who I rely on, but she relies on. She's one of my students. So maybe this is a good result now I'm thinking. In our daily lives, we always have to judge, compare two things, and judge and choose one. It's necessary in our daily lives, of course, but this judgment or choice is the biggest hindrance for reading Denkoroku, in fact. Because Denkoroku is focused on realizing true self It's not the book that how we live better everyday lives, more fundamental. To realize true self, covetous attachment should be severed. It related to Shakyamuni Buddha's right view, which is the first of Noble Eightfold Path. First, you have to pursue right view. Then you can find right intention, right action, right speech. These things came from right view. So this is very fundamental things. Today's chapter is especially focused on this point. This is today's case. The teaching of the Dharma by the non-sentient, Mujo Seppo in Japanese. A monk asked Echu. Echu is Nanyo Echu, the sixth patriarch Huenon's disciple. We saw the chart, lineage chart before. What is the nature of the ancient Buddhas like? Echu replied, fences and walls, tiles and pebbles. The monk commented, but are not fences, walls, tiles, and pebbles non-sentient things? Echu answered that they were. The monk asked, do they comprehend what teaching the Dharma is? Echu said, they constantly teach, vigorously teach, ceaselessly, and without rest. This is today's case. The teaching of the Dharma by the non-sentient. At first, Tozan didn't understand this koan. So first, he went to Isan's place, Isan Ryu, and asked about the teaching of the Dharma by non-sentient. Isan showed one sutra, it's Avatamsaka Sutra. It says, temples teach, sentient things teach, everything in the three worlds of time teaches. Isan said, I have it here with me too. Only it is rare to encounter a real person. Tozan respectfully asked, since I'm not yet clear about the matter, would you please instruct me? Isan raised up his fountain scepter and asked, do you comprehend? Tozan said, no, I don't. Pray, reverend monk, explain to me. Isan replied, speech born of father and mother will never explain it for you. This is a conversation between Tozan and Isan about teaching the Dharma by non-sentient. Here, Isan express teaching the Dharma of non-sentient as capital It. I have it here with me. Isan have the teaching of the Dharma by non-sentient with him all the time. Only it is rare to encounter a real person. He has it all the time, but rare to encounter, rare to realize it. And here in this sentence, it and real person is equal. So Isan's teaching, teaching the Dharma by non-sentient means the state of real person, its true self. And speech born of father and mother will never explain it for you. Isan said, you were asking about the teaching the Dharma by non-sentient, but speech born of father and mother will never explain it for you. It means I cannot explain it by words. Isan raised up his fountain scepter, this one, like this. Many Zen masters do like this, just like this. And do you comprehend? Tozan didn't understand at all. And he gave up Isan. And next, he went to another Zen teacher, Ungan. He visited Ungan and again asked about the teaching the Dharma by non-sentient. Tozan asked Ungan, who can hear the teaching of the Dharma by the non-sentient? Ungan said, the non-sentient can hear it. Tozan said, why do I not hear it? Ungan raised up his fountain scepter and said in response, do you hear it? Tozan said, no, I don't. It's the same way, exactly same way, like Isan. Ungan raised up fountain scepter and said, do you hear it? Isan said, do you comprehend? But Ungan said, do you hear it? What's the difference? Comprehend means hear. Tozan tried to understand what is non-sentient. Try to think, try to imagine. But here, Ungan said, do you hear it? Hear by ear, usually. It becomes little specific. But Tozan didn't understand. He answered, no, I don't. Ungan showed one scripture, Amida scripture. Water and birds, trees and forests, all without exception invoke the Buddha, invoke the Dharma. Same thing. It's not the pebbles, it's not fences, walls, tiles, and pebbles, but it says birds, trees, forests. Everything is something around them. But all these things invoke the Buddha, invoke the Dharma, without exception. Amida scripture saying. At this, Tozan had caught a glimpse of his true self. He said, hearing its sound with your eyes, you can know it directly. He realized little something. Because first he was thinking about non-sentient. What is that? From here. Next, he, by instruction by Ungan, he realized something here. But finally, he realized not hear the sound itself, but something we see by our eyes. Little by little, it becomes clear in Tozen what is the teaching of the Dharma by non-sentient. Then Tozen go back to Echu. Echu is Huinen's disciple, so very elder. I don't think Tozen cannot see Echu. He is ancient master. But Tozen could read Echu's book or Echu's Teisho. So it says like this: if you inquire into the teaching of the Dharma by the non-sentient, you should comprehend your true self as non-sentient. Then you are able to hear the teaching of the Dharma directly. If right now, within all actions, the two classes of the mundane and the holy do not in the least bit arise or pass away, then this involves a true consciousness, which does not depend on being or non-being and is obliged with keen perceptual awareness. When the six sensory roots are engaged in discerning boundaries and discriminating between objects, one should know that such thought is not the true consciousness. These are Nanyo Echu's teachings. The point is your true self as non-sentient. Tozen was looking for non-sentient outside of him, just like fences, walls, tiles, or pebbles, or fountain scepters. If teacher showed fountain scepters, he look at it, then look for non-sentient in that fountain scepter. When he look at fences and walls, what is non-sentient? And he look at outside of him, the fence or walls. But Echu said, your true self is non-sentient. So it's not the matter of the object you see, but the subject yourself is non-sentient. Then you are able to hear the teaching of the Dharma directly. So we should find non-sentient as inside of me. Our true self, it's non-sentient. We should realize it. And this true self have true consciousness. True consciousness, which does not depend on being or non-being and is abridged with keen perceptual awareness. True consciousness is not something we so-called consciousness. Usually, when we say consciousness, we use six sensory roots, encounter some object, then consciousness arises. But true consciousness is not like that. Six sensory consciousness, we can see things, differences, and something good or bad, something we can judge these, use these consciousness, but true consciousness have no judgment, no choice, just things as it is, like suchness. Before so-called conscious arise, we always have it, have true consciousness. That is the teaching the Dharma by non-conscient, non-sentient, that Eju said. Keizan Zenji gives comment on these teachings. People usually think that non-sentient refers to such things as fences and walls, tiles and pebbles, etc. As I told you now, if you check the dictionary, Buddhist dictionary, and check the non-sentient, it says fences, walls, tiles, and pebbles, etc. It indicates like that. But Keizan says, non-sentient refers to, Keizan then said, no, it's not like this. He means this is not what Echu is talking about. The teaching of the Dharma by non-sentient is Echu's koan. So the Echu is thinking something different as non-sentient. It's not the outside of fences and walls, tiles, and pebbles. But it is a true consciousness in which what is seen by ordinary and saintly people has not yet been differentiated. And emotional attachment to notions of delusion and enlightenment has not yet emerged. Likewise, there is not the least degree of emotional judgmentalism or intellectual discrimination, nor any signs that birth and death, coming and go, are actively functioning. This is a Keizan Zenji's comment about teaching the Dharma by non-conscient, non-sentient. So, non-sentient is not like fences and walls, tiles and pebbles, like dictionary's definition. But Echu said, non-sentient is a true consciousness. And true consciousness occurs before our judgment has not yet been occurred. Emotional attachment to notions of delusion and enlightenment has not yet emerged. In that moment, there is true consciousness in ourselves. So we should find in this very instant moment before these emotions occur. If we see something in that moment, we can see things as it is. Then judgment occur. It's good or bad, I like or not. But before these judgment occur, there is true consciousness. It's always there because it's in this very moment. We call it suchness or that which is, or things as it is. Isan said we cannot express in a word. So I cannot also express in a word, but in a Buddhist scripture, sometimes it says things as it is, or suchness, etc. We should find or realize this very moment, this preference has not yet been occurred. In that moment, Echu said it's true consciousness, and our state as non-sentient. It's not very difficult, in fact. Just check your eyes. What can you see in front of you? In my case, I'm sitting in a Dharma hall and I can see the garden, cemetery, the many trees, leaves are green, and now train is passing, little noisy. These are the situation right now. And usually I think, yes, I can see trees, I can see trains, and it's noisy. I perceive everything at the same time. But if I precisely see this situation, my eyes are not judging anything. If leaves are green, just green. If sunlight is very bright, just bright. There's nothing other than that. If train go pass by, just pass by. Then judgment occur in the next moment. I like it or I don't like it. It's noisy, etc. So just listen to your eyes. In this moment, I don't have any preference. If your eyes touch in something, you can see it as it is. Even if you like it or you don't like it, it doesn't matter. That's eyes function. That is true consciousness. Is there anyone who can only see something you like? Just cause and conditions. If something you see, you can see as it is first. Then judgment occurs. Our six senses are always like this. And in this very moment, true consciousness, we don't know anything with so-called our consciousness. Do you remember the first episode when Keizan was a child? He chanted Hanya Shingyo, and no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. These six senses are functioning themselves. So Keizan or ourselves, we don't know in this very moment. Just our six senses functioning. They're always one with this surrounding. There's no separation. There's no limit. If we see the tree, only the tree is there. Even we are not here. That's the functioning of our eyes. If we see the bird, pew, just bird, we can hear, and there's no separation with the sound and myself. And that's the function of a ear. We don't not necessary to understand not necessary to judge anything, not necessary to make something different. We ourselves are changing all the time according to the surrounding. In that moment is true consciousness. So, Hanyo Shinyo says, no eyes, no ears means, it doesn't mean we don't have eye, we don't have ear. We have eyes, we have ears, but we don't know the function in this very moment. Eyes are functioning themselves. Ears are functioning themselves. Nose functioning itself. If incense comes, smell, just smell. There's nothing we can touch or we can make it. Then, in the next moment, we try to do something about it. We said, oh, I like it, or I don't like it, it's good or bad. Our lives are always like this. In this any situation, in this anyone, it's like this. To live in this world is not I'm living in this world, but only this function is functioning. That is a teaching the Dharma by non-sentient. Eju told. Keizan Zenji finally attained enlightenment. As not Keizan Zenji, Tozan. As Tozan was crossing a river, he saw his reflection in the water and greatly enlightened. He composed the Gatha of crossing a river. This Gatha is pretty famous as a Tozan. The Gatha of crossing a river. Truly, I should not seek for the truth from others, for then it will be far from me. Now I am gone alone. Everywhere I'm able to meet him. He is me now. I'm not to him. We must comprehend him in this way so that we can dedicate ourselves at once to that which is. I cannot really understand English nuance, so I don't know this is good translation or not, but originally it's Chinese, and we Japanese translated it in one way, and I think this translation is from Japanese, so I'm not sure it's good translation or not, but Tozan tried to seek another teacher and crossing a river. Then he on the river just tried to crossing a river, so he's on the river. Then he saw the reflection in the water. He saw his face in the water. Then at the very moment, he got enlightened. Truly, I should not seek for the truth from others. As I've been speaking, if you try to find truth, it's not something outside of you. Not the fences, not the walls, not the tiles and pebbles, and not fountain scepter, but matter is the subject which it observing these things. If you seek the truth from others, then it will be far from me. however you practice, if you're looking for the truth or enlightenment outside of you, you never reach it. It will be far from you. Now I'm going alone. Tozan realized something, realized true self. So he said, now I'm going alone. For him, there's nothing around him. Everything is himself. He became one with everything, no limit, nothing separation. So that's why he said, I'm going alone. Wherever he goes, he just go alone. There's nothing except him. Everywhere I'm able to meet him. Whenever he goes, able to meet him. This capital him indicates a true self or a state of non-sentient. So now Tozan goes alone. So everywhere Tozan meet the true self. Then he, capital he, it means true self is me, himself, true himself now. So no separation, no limit, nothing other than him in this world. Everything is him. He attained this state. But I am not him. This is tricky sentence. This I is so-called I. If everything is him, even if he don't practice everything, he is me now, and I am him. So in that case, even if he doesn't practice, he can just truth itself. In that case, he don't need practice. He doesn't say like that. I am not him means so-called I is deluded I. Always judging, always choosing, always comparing things. That is the I here. So if we don't practice, we always live with this so-called I, with judgment, with choice, with preference, like that. So when you start practice, you cannot start from yourself, but always practice comes from something else. He is me now. So this he is something outside, but same as him. And this I is deluded myself. So if you practice start from deluded yourself, you never attain him. In Genjo Koan, Dogen Zenji says, if you, so I don't remember the English word, but if you start practice from your side, it's deluded. But you're eliminated by all things, then you are enlightened. Something like this in Genjo Koan. In here, Keizan said, Tozan said the same thing. We must comprehend him in this way. We must comprehend him, the true self, like this, so that we can dedicate ourselves at once to that which is. If we practice like this, we can dedicate ourselves at once to that which is, means suchness, or things as it is. Whatever happened in your lives, always everything is that which is. In any moment, in any situation, everything is suchness. So we cannot judge in this very moment. Remember my mother's story? I was struggling if I abandon my mom or I'm take care of mom. I was struggling between these two different situations. And after I took care of my mother, I was still struggled. I had been still struggled. Was it okay as a nun? Or should I have been concentrate to the practice and give up my parents? I was always struggling. But here, we can dedicate ourselves at once to that which is. Means, in this very moment, the situation is only one. So when I could abandon my mom and concentrate on practice, I concentrated on practice. And I should take care of my mom. I can take care of mom. In that moment, situation is each moment situation is different. So in each moment, we can follow that situation. That's the only way we can live. So now I'm not struggling anymore. I can do anything what I can do to my mother. But at the same time, when I'm in a temple, I can practice 100% practice. So there's nothing to compare in our daily lives or in any moment. So we should realize this true self, or we should hear the teaching, the Dharma by non-sentient, by ears. Then in each moment, we should live without struggling. Okay, this is today's talk about Kozan in Denkoroku. It must be a little difficult to understand, but Denkoroku is really focused on finding true self. It's a little different from other, other novels or other Zen experience stories, but it's really focused on true self. And each ancestors realize their true selves by their way, all different way. So from Shakyamuni Buddha to disciple, all the ancestors realized the same thing. Then it connected to even now. I am the Tozan is the 39th ancestor, but still that lineage continues. I am the 85th ancestor. If you to take a precept, you can join that lineage, even you are lay people. Then you can see all the teachers in each era, in each country. They are living in all different situations, but they realize the same thing, generation to generation, never stopped. Then Dharma is continuing. That is a Denkoroku, transmission of light. So as a practitioner, we should realize our true self, then see things as it is, then you can overcome, really overcome our suffering. Okay, thank you for listening.
We can maybe, does anyone have any questions? Anyone here have any questions? Or online, does anyone have any questions? Okay, you can come. Yeah.
So come on,
Yeah.
Hi, Roshi. So
Hi.
you talked about how through our perceptions, our eyes, our nose, our ears, this true consciousness is there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My question is, who is the one who recognizes that true consciousness?
We don't know. Just practice. An instance, for some instance, you should recognize. I mean, the true consciousness is always there, but in any situation, it's different. There's a book. The title of anytime. Sorry, I just forget. But anytime it's there. But when you are ready, the practitioners are ready, you can realize. Just like you remember the first picture, there's an egg and chick inside, the disciple inside. When disciple is ready, you tick the egg, right? Then teacher tick. So in this very moment, it's really rare, only they don't see each other, but they feel the moment. Then they tick each other. This is really marvelous. I cannot say when you get enlightened. Yeah, but the true nature is always there. So you just try to practice and sit zazen, and also even you're doing something in daily lives. We don't tell when it is, but just continue practice. And important thing is not only the moment to enlighten is important. Continuing practice is most important. That's Dogen Zenji's teaching. Even if we don't realize, it's fine. But just try and continue practice. And you can find the great joyness in the practice. That point is most important.
Thank you, Roshi.
You can ask question except for Denkoroku, something different. Any question?
Well, I have a question. It's awful hard to understand this in thoughts and words. This true consciousness, and my sense of it, I'll try to paint it in words because we're talking, but my sense of it is that the true consciousness is not mine. It doesn't belong to me. It is everything.
It is everything. Yeah.
It is everything. Yeah. Although many times we think that consciousness, it's my consciousness, I'm conscious of it, but it isn't. It doesn't belong to me.
Yes, that's right.
Everything. It is everything.
Yeah, it's good question, and in fact, there is no I. If you really practice, I just explain for understanding I and something different, but in fact, there is no separation. It means, just like you said, I disappears. When you realize something, a so-called I disappears, and everything is oneness. So yeah, I think you're right. Your expression is really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, hello. Hi.
Hello.
Arigato. Beautiful talk. Don't know if there's an exact question, but I was very struck by the first picture of the baby chick pecking as the teacher, the master. And then I heard you share the story with your mother. And what arose right here is in that then the third part is when I heard you say your mother becomes your student. So I was seeing that as a flow of that unfolding of that which is. And at the end, perhaps the baby chick is your mother and you're the big chick, but at the beginning with the struggle of what to do, you were the baby chick and your mother was the big.
Oh, great. Oh, thank you very much. It's a beautiful explanation. And you got the point. Yes,
I saw it as a flowing stream.
Oh, I was surprised. Yes, that's what exactly I wanted to say. And, for me, it's quite difficult to explain in English, my poor English, but you got the point. Yes, it's exactly. Yeah, my mom is really helping me. And in fact, she wanted, this time I didn't talk about my story about the Catholic nun, but my mother, in fact, my mother wanted to become a Catholic nun before. Then I converted to Buddhism. She accepted it and she persuaded my father, and she was a big helper for me. And sometimes I was very disappointed about practice and tried to get back to my home, in fact. But my mother shut me down, rocked, just like Toza. She rocked the door and I couldn't enter. And I wasn't, I was training in the monastery. Then I said, today I go back home, so I cannot go back to the monastery. So I didn't have place to sleep at night. So I slept in the park. But my mother was very strong and shut me down. And thanks for that, I continue my practice. And now it's opposite, but still he is helping me and sometimes scold me. And so really a big teacher. Yes, you're right. I'm a teacher. Wow, beautiful. Thank you.
English is not my first language, so maybe
really?
I was seeing Spanish. And
okay.
I wanted, just on a personal question, were you with Diane Benash-Roshi at Mont
Yes,
Equity in the 90s? Were you there like in the 90s?
From 2003.
Okay.
2003.
Yes,
Were
I was
you
there
at
for I was there for a short time, and but I
really?
had thought that we have met you.
Oh.
And again, also personal, I wanted to be a Catholic priest, but because being a girl, a priest told me you can't be a priest. Little girls can't be priests. So then, but then I went to training in Zen, and then I could become a Zen priest. So thank you very much.
You were Zen priest? Oh,
Yes.
great.
Yes,
Ryumon. You're Ryumon.
Ramon. Yes, I train at San Francisco Zen Center with Blanche Hartman Roshi, Zenke
Okay.
Roshi.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Oh,
thank you so much.
thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much. Maybe people a little understood my story because of you. Thank you.
Warm hellos from the East Coast of the United States.
Yes. Now I haven't been there for a long time. Yeah.
All right. Many blessings. Blessing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I think we will close with the closing verse right now.
Mhm.